Taichung cleans ASF site without notice. APEC envoy Hsin-yi returns from South Korea. Cheng Li-wun's Putin remark angers Europe. South Korea's Li asks China's Xi for help engaging North Korea. UK train stabbing leaves 10 injured. France adopts consent-based rape law. K-pop group NewJeans loses legal battle against agency. Dodgers seal back-to-back World Series titles.
Hello, I'm Wade Lee. Thank you for joining us on FUNDAY News. It is Monday, November 3rd, Japanese Cultural Day, and here are your top stories. In local news, Agricultural Minister Cheng said Taichung City cleaned the African swine fever site without notifying the authorities, raising concerns of false negatives in follow-up tests. The city said an animal protection officer acted alone and will face strict punishment. The military had deployed 115 troops to disinfect the site within 24 hours. Taiwan's APEC envoy Hsin-yi returned from the summit in Gyeongju, South Korea, arriving in Taoyuan on an Envoy air charter flight. National Security Council Secretary General Joseph Wu and other officials welcomed him at the airport. Lin waved to reporters but made no public remarks. In a Deutsche Welle interview, KMT legislator Li-wun sparked outrage by saying Putin is not a dictator but a democratically elected leader. Reports say some European offices in Taiwan have cut ties with the KMT over her remarks. Researcher Li-wun mocked the party as a car speeding off a cliff without brakes. And in global news, Chinese President Xi Jinping told South Korea's Lee Jae-myung on Saturday that he was willing to widen cooperation and jointly tackle challenges, while Lee sought Beijing's help in effort to resume talks with nuclear-armed neighbor North Korea. Lee hosted Xi at a state summit and dinner after an Asian-Pacific leaders forum in Gyeongju, marking Xi's first visit to the U.S. ally in 11 years. Beijing said it attached great importance to relations with Seoul and sees South Korea as an inseparable cooperative partner, Xi said ahead of the summit, Lee's office said in a statement.
Lee, who was elected in a snap election in June, has promised to strengthen ties with the United States while avoiding antagonizing China and seeking to ease tensions with the North. He has called for a phased approach to denuclearizing North Korea, starting with engagement and a freeze on further nuclear weapons development. Pyongyang, a military and economic ally of China, dismissed the denuclearization agenda as an unrealistic pipe dream. Leaders of 21 Asia-Pacific Rim nations wrapped up their annual summit on Saturday with a statement underscoring regional economic cooperation, just days after the presidents of the United States and China agreed to dial down their trade war.
10 people were injured in a stabbing attack on a train connecting London to northern England on Saturday night. 9 sustained life-threatening injuries, while a 10th victim was being treated for non-life-threatening wounds, British Transport Police said in a statement early Sunday. The agency confirmed that there have been no fatalities. The UK-wide counter-terrorism policing agency said it is assisting with the investigation led by the Transport Police.
British Transport Police said it hopes to determine the full circumstances and motivation behind the attack, which was declared a major incident. Chief Superintendent Chris Casey said, at this early stage, it would not be appropriate to speculate on the causes of the incident. Police and medics rushed to a station in Huntingdon, northwest of Cambridge, where the train was stopped following reports of stabbings. Cambridgeshire Police, which patrols the area, arrested 2 people at the scene in connection with the incident. The suspects were not immediately identified, and no details about the allegations against them were provided.
France's Senate gave its final approval on Wednesday to a bill defining rape and other sexual assault as any non-consensual sexual act, a move that comes after the landmark trial that shook France and turned Giselle Pelicot into a global icon. Senators voted 327 to 0 in favor of the bill, with 15 abstentions. The bill was presented in January following the conviction of 51 men for the rape and abuse of Giselle Pelicot in a case which spurred a national reckoning over this culture in France.
Marie-Charlotte Guerin and Véronique Riotin, lawmakers for the Greens and President Emmanuel Macron's centrist party, respectively, who championed the bill, wrote, "It's time to take action and take a new step forward in the fight against sexual violence." The bill states that any non-consensual sexual act constitutes sexual assault. Consent is defined as freely given, informed, specific, prior and revocable, and assessed in the light of the circumstances. The text says it cannot be inferred solely from the silence or the lack of reaction of the victim. The bill also specifies that there is no consent if the sexual act is committed with violence, coercion, threat or surprise.
K-pop group NewJeans has lost a legal battle to leave its record label, Adore. A South Korean court on Tuesday ruled that the group's contract with the label, which runs until 2029, remains valid. The 5 members announced last year that they were unilaterally leaving the agency, citing mistreatment and manipulation. The group has said it will appeal the ruling. Reports said it is impossible for NewJeans to return to Adore and continue their activities as normal.
The Seoul Central District Court rejected NewJeans' argument that the dismissal of former Adore CEO Min Hee-jin constituted a breach of contract. NewJeans alleged that her dismissal broke their trust with the agency. Adore said it sincerely hopes that the judgment will serve as an opportunity for the artists to calmly reflect on this matter. The label added that it is ready for the members' upcoming activities, including the release of an album, and is now waiting. The case stunned South Korea, where record labels wield significant power and tightly control their stars. It is highly unusual for artists to rebel against them. Formed in July 2022, NewJeans had enjoyed rapid success before their dramatic fallout with the agency.
The Los Angeles Dodgers become the first team in 25 years to win back-to-back World Series titles, coming from behind to beat the Toronto Blue Jays 5-4 after extra innings in the deciding 7th game. Catcher Will Smith's home run in the top of the 11th inning broke the deadlock, and when Alejandro Kirk grounded into a double play with a tying run on third base, it sparked wild celebration. The last team to win successive fall classics were the New York Yankees, who triumphed in 1998, 1999, and 2000.
The Dodgers had trailed 3-0 after Bo Bichette's 3-run homer in the 3rd inning but kept chipping away, with solo homers by Max Muncy and Miguel Rojas leveling the game at 4-4 in the top of the 9th. The series had unfolded against the backdrop of political and trade tensions between North America's neighbors, but it was ultimately the big-spending Dodgers who prevailed against Canada's only MLB franchise. It was only the 6th time in history that a World Series Game 7 had gone to extra innings, and Smith's homer put the Dodgers within sight of the title. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the Dodgers' winning pitcher from Games 2 and 6, picked up another win in relief and was named the series' most valuable player.
The answer for last Friday was A, sweeping. The government announced a sweeping crackdown on illegal construction across the city. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into today's news. South Korea's Li asked China's Xi for help engaging North Korea. Number 1, underscore, 强调, 凸显. The ministry's speech underscored the importance of national security. Number 2, phase, 阶段, 时期. The project is entering its final phase. Number 3, tension, 紧张, 拉力. Political tension between the two countries have been rising. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comment section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. This public holiday in Japan, known as Bunkan no Hi, or Culture Day, celebrates the nation's rich cultural heritage. The event honors the many ways Japanese culture influences life, through the arts, music, and academic pursuits. The origins of Culture Day dates back to 1948, when it was first observed after World War II. The date commemorates the announcement of Japan's post-war constitution, which took place on this day in 1946. And that's all for today's FUNDAY News. Be sure to tune in to FUNDAY News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join FUNDAY for free. I'm Wade Lee, your host. I'll see you next time.